Welcome to this overview of State Performance Plan Indicator 12, Part C to Part B transition provided by the Berea Early Childhood Regional Training Center. In this video, we will review requirements and recommendations for meeting Indicator 12. In most states, including Kentucky, early intervention services for infants and toddlers are provided by a different agency than special education services for preschool children. For this reason, IDEA has provided regulatory guidance around transition services between the two programs. So IDEA requires that smooth transitions between early intervention and preschool programs occur, that transition planning begin not more than 9 months before the third birthday, but should begin no less than 90 days before the third birthday. And it does require that an IEP be in place by the third birthday for any child found eligible for special education services under Part B. The Office of Special Education Programs at the federal level monitors the transition from Part C to Part B. So it looks at the percent of children referred by Part C prior to age 3 who are found eligible for Part B and who have an IEP developed and implemented by their third birthdays. OSEP expects 100% compliance with this requirement that every child found eligible have an IEP in place by their third birthday. For this reason, the Kentucky Department of Education monitors LEA compliance in order to report this to the federal government. If a district reports less than 100% compliance, they may be issued a corrective action plan. And additionally, districts that report 100% compliance, of those districts, 10% are chosen annually for desk audits, for random desk audits to ensure compliance. So in thinking about that transition from Part C to Part B, it is important to note that children who are referred to Part C less than 45 days before their third birthday are not considered a transition. So children must have participated in the Part C program and must have had an IFSP in place in order to be considered a transition. So any child referred to Part C who does not receive services under Part C and then is later referred to Part B, those children aren't held to the third birthday requirement. So those children would fall under the regular referral process of 60 days from referral to placement decision. And when you're thinking about that transition planning from Part C to Part B, some things to keep in mind are that KDE releases a Part C transition list to preschool coordinators quarterly. You can use these lists to cross-check scheduled transition conferences with your Part C partner, but it is important to recognize that these lists aren't always comprehensive. A family can choose not to have their name on that list and then decide later that they do want to have a transition meeting. So make sure that you're maintaining communication with your Part C partner so that no children fall through the cracks, so you don't miss anyone. That First Steps Transition Conference is scheduled by the Child Service Coordinator, so again, important to keep in contact with that Part C provider to make sure that they are including you in those transition conferences. These conferences should occur at least 90 days prior to the third birthday. However, if they occur less than 90 days prior to the third birthday, and if the child has been receiving Part C services, school districts are still required to meet that third birthday requirement of the IEP decision. With family permission, a member of the LEA is invited to attend those conferences. So again, it's really important to stay in touch with that Part C provider to make sure that they are getting that permission and inviting you to attend those conferences. When you're thinking about that transition conference meeting, again, ask your Part C provider to request permission to share the child's diagnosis with you at the transition meeting so that you can think about and plan and share information with the family about specific things that you can provide for the child. Also encourage your Part C provider to plan ahead for those summer transition meetings. Those can be difficult sometimes for LEAs to staff due to days off in the summer for public preschool staff. Another thing to talk to your Part C provider about is that to remind them that they are in charge of the meeting. LEA personnel are guests in the meeting, so the Part C person is in charge of starting the meeting, running the meeting, and inviting the LEA personnel to attend and provide information to the family. When you're initiating the referral, another thing that's important to remember is that the school district is responsible for that referral, not the Part C provider. So you can have the family initiate the referral at the transition meeting, or you as the school district can initiate the referral after the meeting by using the information from the IFSP. So be sure to request a copy of that IFSP from your Part C provider so that you can complete that referral form and get started with that child's evaluation and placement decision. To determine eligibility, that those Part C evaluation results can be used if they are available. So the evaluation would need to be within a year. So if Part C has evaluation results that you can use those to determine eligibility. You can also use those Part C progress notes for your RTI documentation through the eligibility determination process. Sometimes children don't have evaluation results that you can use. In this case, of course, you would have to get parent permission to evaluate and complete the evaluation process through the school system. Sometimes another thing to consider is that at times there are, you might have a speech evaluation and nothing else. If sometimes in a pinch, you can go ahead and place the child as speech language impaired, and then do a further evaluation when needed. So again, school districts are responsible for having an IEP in place for all eligible children transitioning from Part C by the child's third birthday. So again, these are children who have been receiving services from the Part C provider and qualify for Part B services. So this must take place. The IEP must be in place for any child who has received those Part C services, regardless of whether that 90-day transition occurs. So again, stay in touch with that Part C provider to make sure that you're not missing any children who will be coming to you before their third birthday. So this concludes our overview of Indicator 12, Part C to Part B transition. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.